Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys an update to my Adamancipator GOGOGO, GOGOGO, Onomatopoeia, whatever you guys want to call it, deck profile. So it's been a couple of years since I've shown you guys this deck profile, and I figured it was a really great time to update it. I mean, it's not great because we haven't seen a lot of support for the rock archetypes, but overall, I just absolutely, totally love Adamancipators, along with all the decks that sort of work around it, like the GOGOGOs, Valkyrion, and like there's just a ton of other stuff you can do, prank kids, all that stuff. But in general, I thought that this would be a really fun one to bring to you guys. I know that a lot of people play this deck like the generic form, but we are going to be playing the GOGOGO build. So anyways, let's get right on into it. We are going to break this video up into like a couple different segments. So we're going to do the deck profile, and then I'm going to show you guys sort of like the utility cards from the extra deck, and how they work for your final end board. And then I am going to show you guys a quick combo tutorial. So anyways, let's get started. So we are playing the 3 copies of Researcher here. Researcher is your most integral, basically, of like the main deck monsters, because this card, it's able to be searched by your Gallic Granite, along with like being able to be special summoned and searched by a few other cards. But this card is absolutely insane because when you have a rock monster on the field, you're able to special summon this card from your hand, and then all of the Adamancipator ladies have an effect to where you can reveal the top 5 cards of your deck and then special summon a non-tuner level 4 or lower rock monster from among those excavated cards. If you guys have never understood the joke before, they are like basically like diggers who are like miners who are like searching for stuff in the earth, and so they are excavating cards off of the top of your deck to be able to find those utility cards. So she's absolutely one of the best cards of the deck. Then 3 copies of Seeker. As I said with the Researcher, this card allows you to special summon from hand when you have a rock. Seeker can special summon when you have another Adamancipator card on the field, and then your Analyzer is able to special summon itself, much like Cyber Dragon, if your opponent controls a monster and you control nothing, or only if your opponent controls a monster. So overall, these gals work really, really well together. The one thing with Analyzer is that you always have your Raptite in your extra deck to be able to also special summon a card that you reveal from the deck, and it can actually special summon even a tuner monster. So Analyzer, even though it seems like, hey, this card going first doesn't seem the best, if you reveal this card off of Raptite, which does happen quite a bit from what I've just like tested out, this card can still get special summoned that way. And there are other ways to special summon this card, like with Doki Doki, so it just has a lot of utility in the deck still. Then we were playing the 1 copy of Dragite. This is the only like crystal Adamancipator card that's actually like really good, because when this card is special summoned, you're able to draw a card, so that's just super duper good. Getting on into the Onomatopoeia cards, we are playing the 2 copies of Dodo Dwarf GOGOGO Glove. This card is really nice because it can special summon itself from the graveyard when you have a GOGOGO monster on the field, so that's just really, really cool. And then also it has an effect where you can special summon a Zubaba or a GOGOGO monster from your hand. We do not actually play a Zubaba card in the deck, but we do play the 1 copy of the Onomatopoeia, and this card is able to be treated as a Zubaba. So basically, if this card is just like being a brick in your hand, this card can special summon it, which is really cool. We are then playing the 2 copies of GOGOGO Gigas. This is like one of the best cards out of all of these. These are your best 2 by far. And what this card does is that when it's in your graveyard, if you special summon a, wait, hold on one second. While this is in your graveyard, if you special summon a GOGOGO monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. So it's really easy for you to be able to like set this up in your graveyard and then special summon this card off of like a Doki Doki or something like that, or one of your Adamancipators, and then after that summon resolves, then you're able to special summon this from your graveyard. You can't conduct your battle phase during the turn that you use that effect, but overall it's still really easy. If you're going first, it doesn't matter anyways because you're not using the battle phase, and then besides that, if you're trying to like break your opponent's board and stuff, like going second, or if you're on like turn 3 or something and you're just trying to rebuttal, there is enough utility in the extra deck, like with Dragite and stuff, that even if you are giving up your battle phase, like getting all of those bodies and like using the effects to get rid of your opponent's monsters is fine enough, and then you'll take control of the duel from there. So for the last of our cards here, we have one Go-Go-Go Giant, which is able to special summon a Go-Go-Go from grave on normal summon, which seems a little bit weird because it can feel clunky, but in general, we have a few different ways to set up our graveyard. So this card still can get that effect off. And then, like I said, we have the Adamancipator. This card, funnily enough, is able to, like, if you, like, summon this to the field just normally, and then you're able to use its effect to special summon any number of, like, your Go-Go-Go, Ga-Ga-Ga, Do-Do-Dos from your hand. However, you're only able to XZ summon during the turn that you use that, or, like, for the rest of the turn. You cannot special summon, for the rest of the turn except for XZs. So, overall, though, it is still, like, pretty good utility. You can still do that, and then, like, we are playing enough tools in the extra deck to be able to facilitate that. So you're not going to use that effect all the time. In general, you just play this because you can special summon it off of here, and it's just another name for, like, when you have to bridge things. That'll come up a little bit later. Then we were playing the 3 copies of Doki Doki. This card, you never want to cut it down to 2 copies. I tried playing it at 2, and a lot of the time I kept saying to myself, like, man, I really wish I had a discard outlet or something, like a way to get something into the graveyard, because you want to be able to get your Gigas into the graveyard. Sometimes you want Dragite in the grave, and there's a couple other cards that you guys will see later. And there's just other times where you're like, hey, I really got to special something. Like, I really need to get one of these cards out of my deck, and Doki Doki is the absolute best way to do that. He is a hard once per turn, so, like, that's where sometimes people maybe want to play 2, but in my opinion, you got to play this at 3 because you need to see it every game if you want to get your full board set up. Then we were playing 2 copies of Guardian, and then 2 copies of Supplier. Supplier, whenever it sees a rock sent to the graveyard, you're able to actually special summon this from the hand, and then on special summon, you're able to search for Guardian. And then Guardian is just still really good if you're able to, like, special it off of one of your Adamancipators, or if you're able to, like, special summon it or normal summon it after you search with Supplier. There's just a lot of really good utility with this card because it can stop hand traps. It can stop Nibiru, all that kind of stuff that's going to be messing with your combo plays. So very, very important card right there. Then we were playing 2 copies of the Hidden Gem card. This card is absolutely insane for the deck. And it seems like a kind of innocuous effect, but having a searchable way to be able to have double summon in a deck that has, like, really powerful normal summons is very integral. So just keep in mind the fact that I said that Go-Go-Go Giant has an effect that when normal summoned, you're able to target a Go-Go-Go in graveyard and special it to the field. So you can kind of get a bit of a trickle-down effect where, like, if you already have your graveyard set up, you've comboed, you already did your regular normal summon, you search for this card off of Gallic Granite, then you are able to normal summon Giant, and then if you have the Do-Do-Do Wharf in graveyard, this card can pull that out of the graveyard, and then because that got special summoned, then you can special summon Gigas from the graveyard, and then all of a sudden you have 3 level 4 monsters on the field and can just do a ton of stuff. So very, very, very good card. And then also if you have an earth and a water monster on the field while this is in your graveyard, you can just special it onto the field. So that is just really, really crazy, just extra ways to get more bodies onto the field. Going on then into our Xeno Guitar, this is another one of the really integral parts of the deck because the first effect sometimes does come up, but we're just going to skip that. The main effect that you really care about this is that when this card gets banished from the graveyard, you are able to Foolish Burial another one of your rocks to the graveyard, which is really important, and we are going to get to the reason why that is important a little bit later. But we are also playing the 1 copy of Gigantes to be able to do that banish, so you want to set up Xeno Guitar in graveyard. Like I said, you can send it to the graveyard with Doki Doki, or you can pitch any of your level 4 Earths with Doki Doki, and then special Xeno Guitar, and then just get her to the graveyard by, like, XZ or Link or Synchro Summoning with it. So very, very easy. And then Gigantes, another one of your really good Gallic Granite targets. Just search this out of the deck, and then when Xeno Guitar gets to the graveyard, go ahead and banish it, and then you get that Foolish Burial. And the card that we generally want to be doing the Foolish Burial of is with the Barrier Statue of the Draught. The reason for this is because we have an in-archetype way to be able to revive a monster out of the graveyard. So with this card, During your opponent's turn, if a fire is in your graveyard, you can quick effect, target a rock monster in your graveyard, and special summon it. So you just go ahead and special summon the Draught out of the graveyard, and then your opponent cannot special summon except for earth monsters. So really, really cool utility. Basically, like I said, get Xenoguitar to graveyard, Gigantes, banish it. This card sends it to graveyard, and then at some point, this card is going to get special summoned either from your graveyard, or you can special it or normal it from hand. And again, not to like repeat myself too much, but having that additional normal summon is very integral, because if you just like draw this card off of like a few, you'll see a little bit later in the extra deck, we have a ton of ways to draw cards. So if you draw into either of these later, and like you have Draught in hand and you have that additional normal summon late game, you can just go ahead and do that. And yeah, your opponent is not going to be able to do very much. For the final card, we have one copy of Nibiru. This card is also searchable off of Gallic Granite, so why not play it? Getting on into the spell cards, we are playing, for the rest of like the Onomatopoeia stuff, we are playing 3 copies of Onomata Pickup. This card is absolutely insane. And so if you're ever thinking of tinkering with ratios, like playing like, you know, like 2 and 2 or something like that, no. Play 3 copies of this, because with this card, when it's activated, you're able to add your Onomatopoeia to your hand from your deck. And then also it has another effect that once per turn, you can target one of your like go-go-go monsters on the field and make all of your monsters that have levels on the field have that monster's level. So really cool thing is that if you like basically summon Gigas from the deck, and then you can like special summon this guy back out of the graveyard if you have another water monster on the field along with Gigas, and then you can use Onomata Pickup to make everything level 4s. And then like that just means that you can do all of your rank 4 plays super duper easily. So really, really cool. And then like I said, this card on activation is able to search for Onomatopoeia, and then Para is able to add any of your like go-go-go, ga-ga-ga, do-do-do cards. So the other thing to keep in mind is that this card says you can only add 1 card from each category. We have like the go-go-go Gigas, but keep in mind that your do-do-do Wharf go-go-go Glove is able to be picked out from either category. So you can basically like activate this card and say, I'm gonna pick out this do-do-do Wharf and the go-go-go Gigas. I know, I'm sorry, I'm saying a lot of crazy words here. Do-do-do, go-go-go, ga-ga-ga, giga-ga, zoo-baba, all of this stuff. It's all crazy, but these cards are just so fun to play with. Then we are going on into 3 copies of our Adamancipator Signs. This card, another one that you just never want to cut, because it's so integral to the strategy. There's so many times where you're like kind of running low on gas, but then maybe like you draw a card off of Saryuja or something, which you'll see in the extra deck a little later, and then you draw a copy of this, and like this card just like gets you another body, and 1 body in this deck can do so much stuff. And then for the 40th card, we were playing 1 copy of Called by the Grave, because we want our combos to go through as much as possible. So that is it for the 40 card main deck. Let's get on into the extra deck. So the extra, a lot of really cool utility here. We are playing all of the Adamancipator extra deck stuff. So we're playing 1 copy of Dragite. This card is a great card at breaking boards, because you can reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. And for every rock that you reveal, you're able to bounce cards to your opponent's hand, which is really crazy. And then if you have a water monster set up in your graveyard, your opponent activates a spell or trap card, you're able to negate that card and destroy it. So really a great card. This card just has so much utility. And we do play a couple of waters in the deck just to guarantee that this card is always live. We have 1 copy of Raptite. This card, like I said, is very similar to the Adamancipators, where the Adamancipators are going to pull the top 5 off of your deck and special summon a non-tuner level 4 or lower rock. But Raptite can just summon any rock that you reveal. Yeah, any excavated rock into defense position. So this card, being able to pull out like another Adamancipator, especially your Analyzer. Like I said, Analyzer is a little bit harder to special summon. So, but yeah, if you like Raptite, get out Analyzer, and then boom, you can just keep comboing. It's really insane. And then also this card is a DD Crow, basically if you have a wind in the graveyard. And then we're playing the 1 copy of Leonite. This card, like I said, is integral for getting your barrier statue of the Drought out of your graveyard during your opponent's turn, and then that's going to allow them to, or allow you to like floodgate them to not special summoning anything besides Earths. So that is its quick effect, as long as you have a fire in the graveyard. And you'll notice if you look through this entire deck, we are not playing any fires or wind monsters. So for these guys to be live, it all is reliant on the extra deck, but that's perfectly fine. I wanted to keep the main deck like really versatile as far as like combo stuff. I wanted to make sure that all of my combos were always live, and so for that purpose, that meant that the extra deck ended up taking on like the attribute stuff that I needed besides the Dragite. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. And then this card basically allows you to add an Adamancipator out of the 5 cards that you reveal. So that's really cool because you can even add Adamancipator Signs off of his effect. It does not technically have to be a monster. So Adamancipator Signs is actually able to be like excavated off of this guy. Then we were playing 1 copy of Herald of the Arclight. This card is in here in case your opponent like stuns you a little bit, or if you just get bad reveals and you get stuck with like 2 level 2s on the field, so like your Hidden Gem and a Researcher, then you just go ahead and go into Herald of the Arclight and then go with another level 4, and then you're able to go for like a Synchro 8 play or 2 or into a rank 4 play, sorry. So overall, that's just kind of how, like, the reason why this card is in here. Or you can just end on this as one of your board pieces and just floodgate your opponent, which is really cool. We are playing 1 copy of Dugaris. This is our chosen fire monster to be able to make our Leonite live. It's just really cool just to be able to like if you're sitting on a Xeno guitar or something, and you're just like, gosh, I really, or a Gigas, and you're like, gosh, I really need to get this card into the graveyard. How am I going to do that? Then you just like make Dugaris, draw 2, and then discard 1 card, and you get that discard, which is just amazing. It's going to stop you from using your draw phase next turn, but as long as you like end your turn with some stuff like cards in your hand, whatnot, this card is just it gets you to where you need to go. Then we were playing the 1 copy of Gallic Granite. 1 copy of Gallic Granite and 1 copy of Emerald. Emerald is then going to be our wind monster to make our Raptite live. And these cards are just really great. They're actually rocks, so they are like in archetype, like really, really like good for the strategy. Gallic Granite gets you a lot of really integral searches. I do want to go over those really, really quickly. So like I said, you can actually pull Nibiru off with this. But in general, the main guys that you want to go for, let's see here. So we got Gallic Granite. The main guys that you're thinking of searching basically at all times, you have Researcher is basically if you don't have enough combo pieces right away, you basically just get 2 4s out and then search Researcher and then try to combo. Nibiru, if you just need like to get to Nibiru. Xeno Guitar, you basically want to try to summon out with Doki Doki, but you can search with Gallic Granite. And then, like I said, your Xeno Guitar is going to try to dump your Drought, so you generally don't want to search this guy either off of Granite. So in general, you are trying to search off of these 2 guys. And again, this card can also be special summoned by other cards, and you are playing 2 of it. So you're going to see this a little bit more. In general, Gallic Granite, you want to search Gigantes, but in general, like there are going to be duels where you need to grab something else, but always bear in mind, Gallic Granite and Gigantes, you want to keep these guys together. Then, if you guys haven't noticed, we are playing some XZs here, and we are playing 2 monsters that are not number monsters. So for that reason, we are playing Utopic Future, Utopic Future and Utopic Draco Future. So the reason for this is because, like I said, with like a few of like the Onomatopoeia cards, they will lock you into XZ cards. So, or really just the Utopic Onomatopoeia. But still, if you are getting locked into XZs and stuff, we still want these for strategy. And this is actually part of our end board, which we will go over here in a little bit. For the Link monsters, we're playing IP Masquerena and SP Little Knight. No real explanation needed there. We are playing 1 copy of Nightmare Cerberus for the fact that if we end on IP Masquerena in our end board, and we do have the barrier statue of the Drought on the field, let's say that our opponent is sort of threatening to go into battle phase, then we want Nightmare Cerberus to be able to like link into this, and then blow up one of our opponent's cards as they're like trying to go into battle phase, or you know, it has to be in main phase, but if they're about to go into battle phase and they're just going to try to like get rid of this so that they can special summon something, like this is what we want to do. Like it's nice having Nightmare Cerberus for that purpose. I mean, technically, Nightmare Cerberus can only blow up special summon monsters, but again, like, it's like, this is like the only guy that you can really go into when you have this card out, so for that reason, I figured it was still worth it to play Cerberus, and he's an Earth. There's just a lot of other reasons why you'd want this. One copy of Raten, the Heavenly General. I got to shout out Dark Arm Duelist on this one, because I saw this in one of his Adamancipator videos. So this card is really, really versatile as well. But the main reason why you want to play this card is because during the standby phase, you're able to point, if you're pointing to another monster, so let's just say that you have a Earth Gigantes on the field and it's getting pointed to by Raten, then since it is an Earth, then you are able to special summon another monster of that attribute, or maybe it's of the type. Target one phase of monster, special summon a level 4 lower monster with the same type. So we're summoning a rock. So you summon a rock from your hand with the same type, level 4 or lower, and then that's how you can also get Barrier Statue of the Draught from your hand on your opponent's turn if you like ended up drawing this card. And then a really cool other effect is that when your opponent goes into their battle phase, so at the start of the battle phase, either player's battle phase, you're able to destroy one monster on the field, which is just great because, again, if your opponent's going to just normal summon a guy and they're going to run into battle phase, you can just use that effect to protect him in battle phase, and now your opponent is not able to basically blow up your guy, which, like, honestly, like, this card seems like it's a custom card to protect Barrier Statue of the Storm, or Barrier Statue of the Draught. So, I mean, I just think it's really, really cool. Then we're playing one copy of Saryuja. This card also really integral to the strategy, because if you start just getting some bodies, and if you start needing to like get to the point where you need to find a way to get like Dugaris linked off into the graveyard or something, you need to draw and dig in so that like you can find that Draught, you can find Gigantes, all that kind of stuff. Saryuja is just a great way to do it. And then there's not really enough room to play like Access Code Talk or anything. So again, I play this card in like so many rogue decks. I love Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, so I'm playing this as the 15th card in the extra deck, just so that I have the capability of being able to like link off my opponent's stuff if I'm trying to break their board. And then also, along with like our Dragite, there's just a ton of ways to get like really good removal. But that is going to do it for the deck profile. Let's quick go over a couple of combos. I do want to try to keep this as quick as possible because this is going to be just a really long video, but I feel like you can't really understand the concepts of this deck if you don't see like a little bit of a combo tutorial. This is in general a bit of a complicated deck. I will do a full-on combo tutorial or just like hand test video, but I just want to kind of go over everything that we have here. So in general, these 4 cards here are stuff that you're not going to be seeing in your opening combo most duels, except you might end on Raten if you have the Draught in hand. And then you're probably not going to be making Herald of the Arclight all the time, but again, this is just in here for the utility if you need to go into a 4. Or if you just want to use the floodgate that it has. We have IP Masquerena as well as Saryuja and the Dragite. These are cards that just kind of come onto the field depending on how things are going. If you can establish Dragite by using like Raptite plus an Adamancipator level 2, perfect. Saryuja, you basically use it if you just need it to be able to extend, and IP Masquerena, again, is going to depend on how things go, how many bodies you have, but in general, the rest of these guys are all going to be used. As long as you get enough like combo material, these are going to be like the main guys that you're going to be needing. So let's shuffle up the deck and let's try to get a little bit of a tutorial going here. If you guys have enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you guys have not already, I would absolutely appreciate it. I've been working on this deck for like probably like a good week or so now, just trying to perfect all of the ratios and whatnot, trying to make sure that this is as consistent as possible. It's a bit of a high rolly deck. Sometimes you get pretty bad hands and sometimes you get really good ones. So let's just see. Okay, I already love the first. Oh, but now we're kind of bricking. Okay, I was going to say, I love the first card that we drew. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate right away our Anamana pickup. This card is going to be able to get us our Anamana Para. And then we're going to use Para right away to pitch our Xeno Guitar to grave. So I actually do really like that right there. So Xeno Guitar to grave. And then that is going to allow us to pick up a couple cards. So we have a few options, but depending on what we want, these are the cards that we can pick from. Now, in general, we don't really want to pick up the, maybe we do want to pick that guy up. So we could just grab these two guys because, like I said earlier in the deck profile, with this guy, during the main phase, special summon a Zubaba or Gogogo monster from your hand. So we're probably going to just take those two right there. That's just kind of the utility of like why you play this card. Plus, it's nice to get out all of like the non-rock cards out of the deck. He's the only non-rock that we're actually playing, I believe. So we are just going to go through our main phase here. We're going to summon this card out. Then during main phase, special summon one of those guys from your hand. And this does not lock us out of anything or like any stuff as far as like locking us into XZs. So that's kind of why we wanted to do that. So we are going to overlay these, and we're basically obliged at this point to go into Gallic Granite. And like I said, this is just where we go ahead and add our copy of Researcher. So we're going to search right away for a Researcher. And then Researcher, special summon that card, and then Researcher will use its effect. We're going to pull the top 5 cards off of our deck here, and we're already seeing a Dragite, which is really good. So I think what we're going to be doing is we're just going to take that Dragite, we'll put the rest of these guys to the bottom, and then Dragite is going to draw us a card. So we draw a Kowakimeru Guardian. Not exactly the best thing to pull off of the top, because we already did use our normal summon, but we can always gain an additional normal summon eventually. We're going to take these two here, and then we're going to make our Raptite. This is generally about the time that you make Raptite, sort of like one of like your first handful of summons. Raptite, we're going to go ahead and utilize that. Actually, before we go Raptite, what we're going to do is we're going to use our Adamancipator Signs to be able to special summon Dragite back to the field, and then since we special summoned a Adamancipator off of that, we are able to stack the top card of our deck. So we're going to stack, sorry, not Seeker, we're going to stack our Analyzer to the top, just because Analyzer is the card that we generally want to be summoning off of the Raptite. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're not playing around Nibiru right here, but I just think for like the combo purposes, we just kind of want to show what we can do. We could really take the barrier statue of the Draught, but since we have Xenoguitar already set up in Graveyard, I think that we do have like a decent chance of like doing like our main combo where we're trying to go Leonite. So I want to show you guys sort of like what the full combo can do, but just keep in mind like we could have like probably stopped close to around here and just ended with Draught on the field right there. We are going to then go ahead and use our Analyzer. Whoa, I must have shuffled. I think I shuffled. Yeah. Wait, did I shuffle? I'm not supposed to shuffle off of that. We're going to say that I shuffle. I shouldn't have shuffled, but it looks like I probably did. So we'll just keep that in mind. These cards are now at the bottom of the deck. And then we are going to do, basically at this point, because we do have a few level 4s on the field, and we eventually want to get Gallic Granite into the Utopic Future, this is where we would generally want to either go into Dugaris or into Diagusto Emerald. The fact that we do have 2 level 4 or 3 level 4s on the field, it does make me just kind of want to try and go Dugaris first, because Dugaris lets us dig one more card deeper into the deck. So we're going to start off here with Dugaris. We are going to detach 2 materials off of this, draw 2 cards. So we'll draw 2. And then that is going to, and then we have to discard a card off of that. So I think what we're just going to discard is going to be the Onomata Pickup. Whoops. Onomata Pickup is going to get discarded. There's not really anything else that we want to discard here. And we got really lucky there with the Seeker. We were able to just special summon that since we have an Adamancipator on the field. And then we will go for Seeker. We'll probably wait a second on Seeker. Well, no, we're just going to use Seeker's effect. The only reason why we would maybe wait on Seeker's effect would be if we would have Gigas engrave, because with Gigas, it is a trigger effect, it is a trigger effect that when like a Go-Go-Go is summoned, then you're able to special summon it from grave. But since we don't have Gigas engrave, we don't need to worry about that. So usually if I have Gigas engrave, I try to like leave 2 zones before I use a Seeker or like one of the Adamancipators. So let's see here what we can get, and that's actually really great that we reveal a Gigas. I think that that's what we want to take. Doki Doki is also a really nice option. Actually, yeah, we are going to take the Doki Doki because that is going to allow us to also basically just end up with a Gigas on the field. So at this point, this is something where we want to start trying to get a little bit of link plays going and stuff. We do have Analyzer, but in Analyzer, you want to utilize it as a tuner or something. I think we might take Seeker. We could Seeker and do this to make Dragite, but actually what's probably just best is that we take these guys and we make Saryuja. Saryuja is going to allow us to just dig even deeper into the deck and try to find that Gigantes. So since we used 4 monsters, we are able to go ahead and do that. So we will Saryuja and draw 4. Wait a second, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4 off of the top. And let's see if we can pick up Gigantes. No, but we did end up getting the Hidden Gem, which is going to allow us to get an additional normal summon, which is huge. Right here is where we would want to Doki Doki. Doki Doki would also just allow us to special summon the Draught straight out of the deck. And we do have a lot of really nice things going here, so we probably could do that. We do also have the Adamancipator signs, so we just have a lot of stuff coming around here. We do still have Diagustral Emerald to draw another card through the deck, so let's just think about our options here. Well, okay, as I said before, we do always have that option of like Doki Doki, just pitch Quacky Mirror Guardian, and we can special summon the Draught guy out of the deck at this point. There's a few things that we could do, and then like we can even do like a little bit more extension quick, and then go ahead and do that because we still have an extra normal summon here, and we have a special summon from Grave. But I want to show you guys kind of like the top end of the deck, so just keep in mind we could just sort of end on like a smaller board here, but I want to show you guys what the big board looks like. So what we are going to do is we are going to Doki Doki, pitch the Quacky Mirror Guardian because it's our only level 4 that's in our hand right now, and that is going to special summon the Gigas from our deck. Then, since we have Gigas, what we are going to do is we are going to special summon out our GoGoGo Glove from the graveyard. Yes, so if you have a GoGoGo on the field, you can special summon this card, but banish it when it leaves the field. Sometimes then that's just when I make sure that I use this for an XZ play so that it doesn't get banished. And that's kind of what it's looking like we're going to do anyways. So we're just going to take these. We are going to go into Diagusto Emerald, and then Emerald, we are going to detach the Gigas off of him specifically. That way, Gigas is set up in Grave, and then we are going to shuffle back 3 and then draw a card. This is also sometimes where I will recycle some extra deck cards like Raptite. Raptite can actually go back into the extra deck. We do not, however, want to recycle the Dugaris because, like I said, we want Dugaris set up in graveyard for our Leonite. We also want to leave Xenoguitar in grave so it can get banished. Dragite might not be the worst because then we can like hopefully like draw it off of some other stuff. Let's see here. And also like Seeker or Researcher, if I hadn't used their special summon effects, sometimes I will also go ahead and just like redo them that way. Right now, I think that these are just kind of going to be the 3 that we do. I don't think that it matters too much, so we're just not going to like linger on it all that much. Dragite, you could also make the argument to leave him out of the deck so that like you can just use stuff like Signs to get to draw extra stuff, but we're just not going to worry about that. So Raptite is going back in, and then also we get to draw off of the Emerald. We did just pick up another Adamancipator, so that's a little bit unfortunate. We are going to discard our copy of, what's his name, the Hidden Gem, to be able to give us an additional normal summon or set this turn, normal summon, an additional normal summon this turn. And we do still have Seeker in grave. We have a Seeker in hand. We have a Doki Doki. Actually, no, we don't want Seeker. We want our Analyzer. So we are going to go ahead and use our Signs. We are going to utilize Signs to be able to bring back our Analyzer. Analyzer then on the field is going to synchro in with Doki Doki, and that is going to make Leonite. And for those of you guys who are screaming at your screen, yes, I did just realize that I've probably gone a couple plays with forgetting that I already just have like the Utopic Future set up. So we are going to go ahead and do that as well. And now this is the point where we will go Leonite effect to be able to rip the top cards off of our deck. This is basically where we want to pick up Adamancipator Signs or Bust. So let's see what we can get here. Oh my gosh, okay. And is that the third copy of Signs? I believe that we've already used the other two. Yes, so we were able to pick up the third copy of Signs. Otherwise, we could pick up an Adamancipator like monster. However, the monsters are not able to, what am I trying to say? The monsters are not able to special summon themselves anymore because we've already done all of that. So the last thing that we can really do here, we're kind of at the end of the rope. We still can use the special summon effect of Saryuja, so we'll special summon Doki Doki. We're going to special summon the Seeker, and then we're going to take Leonite. Because we do not have that graveyard set up with the Draught, what we're going to do is we are just going to Dragite, special summon him to one of the zones that Saryuja points to. I could have also put this guy here to one of the zones that he points to. That way he got the attack boost. Signs. Did we use Signs? We didn't use this Signs, did we? Did we use that Signs? Yeah, we used this Signs to get the analyzer from Grave. I'm sorry, I forgot to put that there. But this is basically where we're going to be ending right here. On this end board, like I just said, we did not get the Draught Engrave. We had like two different options throughout this combo to be able to utilize that. So just always keep that in mind with this deck. I think that this is a fairly good combo to show you guys that the deck doesn't always work the way that like you want it to go. So sometimes you got to take your wins for when you get them. So there were a few points there where we could have summoned the Draught. We still have this guy set up in graveyard, so we could, even if we wanted another body, we could special summon this guy because we do have an earth and we have a water. So if we had another way to get a body, we could set up like IP Masquerena as well at some point. But we are still just one body short. So yeah, just overall, keep in mind, not every time you're going to get Draught into graveyard. We literally could have gotten him set up there if we would have pulled Gigantes at any point. But again, we had to use our search early on with the Gallic Granite. We had to do our search right away for the Adamancipator Researcher. That's just usually what slows you down. So that's just sort of how the deck works. But again, this is still like a decent board here. We still have like a really good monster negate, and then we have a spell trap negate, and we have Nibiru sitting up in our hand. So we still have a few things going on, but there are definitely ways that you can end on some really big boards. In general, the best board that you can set up here is going to be like Saryuja there, and then you have your, I flip-flopped my graveyard and my deck, but you're going to have like Draught on field. Maybe not even have him. You'll just have like Leonite with Draught, and then you'll have like IP Masquerena, and then IP Masquerena can do some shenanigans. So in general, this is the board that you're searching to end on, or maybe you'll still have Dragite if you have like a really, really great full combo. So anyways, guys, I know that this was a lengthy one, but I could just talk about Adamancipators all day. I absolutely love this deck to bits. And I wanted you guys to have the full scope of like what the turns can look like. So we will do a full hand test video for this one, but I wanted you guys to see this in the video for those of you guys who aren't going to be seeing the full video. So let me know what you guys thought about this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I know that I enjoyed putting this deck together. Please let me know down in the comment section and subscribe to the channel. Again, if you guys haven't already, what are you doing? Subscribe so you guys can see more rockin' videos like this. We'll catch you for the next one. Peace.